This is Neural Newscast.
Here is what matters this morning, April 12th, 2026.
From Neural Newscast, I'm Michael Turner.
And I'm Nina Park.
The United States Navy has begun a blockade of all ships entering or leaving the Strait of Hormuz, effective immediately.
This escalation follows 21 hours of failed negotiations in Islamabad. Vice President JD Vance reported no agreement was reached on nuclear terms.
President Trump stated the Navy will interdict any vessel paying what he termed illegal tolls and has authorized the destruction of mines throughout the waterway.
Operations are already underway. The United States S. Frank E. Peterson and United States S. Michael Murphy are leading mine clearance efforts to stabilize global oil transit.
Turning now to cybersecurity. The National Security Agency has issued an urgent advisory for all Americans to reboot their internet routers.
The agency says this simple action can temporarily disrupt sophisticated malware and prevent malicious actors from maintaining a persistent presence on home networks.
Officials noted that this request is a precautionary measure as digital threats against domestic infrastructure continue to increase across the country.
In other news, Venezuela has secured its first-ever World Baseball Classic title by defeating the United States in a 3-2 victory.
The historic win triggered massive celebrations in both Miami and Caracas after the Venezuelan team overcame the defending champions on Sunday.
This tournament finish marks a major shift in international baseball rankings and highlights the growing talent pool within the South American nation.
Meanwhile, the energy crisis in Cuba has reached a critical point after the national electrical grid collapsed again this morning.
More than 10 million people are now without electricity as officials struggle to maintain old infrastructure under the weight of severe fuel shortages.
The collapse has impacted hospitals and basic services, leading to a humanitarian emergency that the government says it cannot immediately resolve.
Still, in the energy sector, the Philippines is facing its own emergency as fuel shortages cause long queues at petrol stations in Manila.
Our business correspondent, Saranjana Tiwari, reports that supply chain disruptions are forcing the government to implement emergency conservation measures for all citizens.
The situation highlights how regional energy stability is becoming increasingly fragile for nations dependent on maritime imports, Michael.
Next, actor Sean Penn has visited Ukraine to deliver an Oscar statuette to officials after skipping the Academy Awards ceremony.
This visit is Penn's third trip to the region since hostilities began and aims to draw continued attention to the ongoing conflict.
Penn stated that the gesture is intended as a symbol of support for the resistance as international aid debates continue in Washington.
Turning to domestic policy, the Department of Veterans Affairs has announced a significant financial boost for former service members.
The new funding plan is designed to increase monthly stipends for veterans facing rising housing costs in major metropolitan areas.
Implementation is expected to begin within the next 30 days, providing immediate relief for thousands of households across the country.
Here is what else we're watching. The Supreme Court has handed Republicans a significant election victory in a new ruling. In Minnesota, classic car owners are monitoring a new plan that would ban older vehicles from the roads during weekdays.
Supporters of the ban argue it is necessary for emissions reduction, while critics say it unfairly targets collectors and hobbyists.
Finally, we are tracking the potential for a massive deportation effort that experts warn could disrupt United States disaster response capabilities.
Emergency management agencies are concerned that labor shortages resulting from the policy could slow down recovery efforts following major storms.
From Neural Newscast, I'm Michael Turner.
And I'm Nina Park. This has been Neural Newscast. Thanks for listening.
Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.